Are you struggling with the thought of studying abroad? Do you worry about your perfect study destination, the best course or program? Abroad. Do you worry about your perfect study destination, the best course or program? Finances, admission formalities, and study permits, the procedures involved? Don't worry, we've got you covered. Download AssistEd app, your dedicated app in the search for the perfect study destination. Discover unlimited study options, get connected with the right people to forego your worries, and engage in dynamic conversations with universities and experts from the relevant field on trending topics of overseas education and much more. Still wondering why to use the AssistEd app? Hear it from some of the students who have used our portal and found it worthwhile. AssistEd has an excellent search tool that helped me find my perfect study option. Through AssistEd, I found Praxis, an amazing platform for finding the best projects and internships and getting connected for future job opportunities. The AssistEd forum is an active and informative one, and I've received some really useful tips and reviews from the discussions. The one-to-one counseling feature helped me find the perfect consultancy. All I had to do was register, and the mobile application showed me a wide range of options for consultants in my area. First, I had an online session with a few counselors, and from them, I chose the one who gave me the best support and guidance for taking up my MBA program abroad. Sounds exciting? You too can have such an experience. Download the app today. Are you struggling with the thought of studying abroad? Do you worry about your perfect study destination, the best course or program? Finances, admission formalities, and study permits, the procedures involved? Don't worry, we've got you covered. Download AssistEd app, your dedicated app in the search for the perfect study destination. Discover unlimited study options, get connected with the right people to forego your worries, and engage in dynamic conversations with universities and experts from the relevant field on trending topics of overseas education and much more. Still wondering why to use the AssistEd app? Hear it from some of the students who have used our portal and found it worthwhile. AssistEd has an excellent search tool that helped me find my perfect study option. Through AssistEd, I found Praxis, an amazing platform for finding the best projects and internships and getting connected for future job opportunities. The AssistEd forum is an active and informative one, and I've received some really useful tips and reviews from the discussions. The one-to-one counseling feature helped me find the perfect consultancy. All I had to do was register, and the mobile application showed me a wide range of options for consultants in my area. First, I had an online session with a few counselors, and from them, I chose the one who gave me the best support and guidance for taking up my MBA program abroad. Sounds exciting? You too can have such an experience. Download the app today.
And welcome everyone to today's webinar of the Assisted Mobile App team about studying in Italy and also other destinations in Europe, like Germany. Okay, I'm just waiting for 1 second to exactly for the presentation to be shown. So a warm welcome to my part. From my part, my name is Lisa. I hold an MSc in Higher Education and Science Management, and I'm specialized in the German and European higher education sector since over 15 years. I'm a senior expert in the YUF team, and I'm based in Berlin, Germany. And I'm very, very happy to talk to you today, of course. So for the structure of this webinar, I'm going to talk for a good 30 minutes. Sometimes some things come into my mind that are not in the presentation, then it takes me maybe a few minutes longer. And then we'll have a lot of room to answer your questions. It will always, of course, be possible to send us emails, to join the Assisted mobile app, and to ask your questions via that app after, if the questions don't come into your mind immediately. And we'll finish latest after 1 hour with another video clip. Okay. And yeah, you can type in the chat while I'm presenting, but I won't be able to answer your questions while I'm presenting. So please be patient. Everything can be answered right after. Okay. So today, my first and most honorable pleasure is to convince you that it's a very, very good idea to study in Europe. Germany, Austria, Switzerland, Liechtenstein, Luxembourg, and other countries, as unlike other European countries, these countries do not distinguish between local and international students when it comes to education and tuition fees. Countries like Germany, Switzerland, Austria, but also Italy offer scholarships to students based on their financial background as well as their educational acumen. There are hundreds of different types of scholarships available with most institutions. Now let's move to Germany first. We have low or no tuition fees for domestic and international students, hundreds of top-ranked universities, affordable living costs, and lots of study programs taught in English. There are great job opportunities for international students and graduates, and high chances of settling after completing your education here. We offer internationally recognized degrees, travels to all of Europe on a student visa, and the possibility to become part of a diverse community. And by the way, I'm going to have a few, the first part I forgot to mention that. First part of my presentation is in general about studying Europe and our tool YUF, which is a feature of the Assisted mobile app and how to use it. The second part is a special feature about and a showcase about studying in Italy. And the third part are general information about how to use the Assisted mobile app. So we are in the middle of the first part, and I go back from Germany via Switzerland. So Switzerland is known as one of the safest countries in the world and offers excellent study programs at affordable costs to international students. Sharing its borders with 5 other countries, it is a traveler's paradise. Swiss scientists are held in high demand all over the world. The country has a penchant for efficiency, which is well reflected in its transportation and all public access systems. The geography is as diverse as the people in this country, a very mountainous country. And also the neighboring country, where we move now to Austria, is very mountainous and very, very beautiful. There we find highly specialized study programs in English language offered to international students. The quality of life is very high in Austria, with a high level of social security. Universities promote student participation in sports and recreational activities, and is known to be one of the most livable countries in Europe. And it is a quite affordable study destination. In fact, I must say the affordability is much higher in Austria than in Switzerland, because Switzerland is indeed quite expensive concerning living expenses, not concerning the cost of the study. But we know that once you get into this question, oh, I could study abroad, I got the funding, I got the qualifications, but where should I go? And how can I find the right program for me? Well, and how do I submit actually my applications? And what are the documents required? Where do I get my attestations done? All of these things that the guys want from the embassy or from the university. And what are the next steps to take before I can actually start to study abroad? What kind of questions will I be asked in the visa interview? We know that all of these questions bother you, and sometimes it's not easy to find an answer in the internet or with the right contact persons. But the good news is we can assist you. We are a professional recruitment and higher education consulting team with years of experience in recruitment for the European and worldwide higher education sector. We have experience not just in recruitment, but also visa processing, accommodation assistance, and scholarships. We are committed to providing you assistance from start to end in every aspect of your university admission. Application submission, coordination of the process with the university, visa support, accommodation support, projects during the studies, and a lot of more services that we can offer to you. In order to implement this and to be at your service, we develop what we call for you the perfect triangle: predict, support, succeed. Predict. We predict the admission probability with our unique artificial intelligence-based app assistant, relying on data from previously admitted students and 500 plus universities. Then we support you with personal guidance by our expert team through the jungle of application to universities that offer scholarships and free education. And then you succeed and enroll in one of Europe's excellent academic environments and benefit from higher quality higher education with accredited world-class universities, top quality living conditions, and very positive prospects for your future career and life. Sounds good, huh? And I'm going to explain the three sides of the triangle a bit more in detail, because it's important for you to understand what kind of offer we have here and in which way it is special and different from other platforms, websites, or apps. So the prediction part is really the central part. We take information from past data in our vast database and compare your academic profile that you type in once you download the app with the variables to find a match which helps us predict your admission chances with ease. While you have structured the available information for you in clear lists where you can easily get an overview, compare, mark, and manage your favorite options, and directly ask us to assist you with your applications, because we are always at the back end active and ready to help you. In a second step, after this assessment, we suggest options to you with a high individual chance of admission to a university that exactly matches your profile. And no other platform or agency is able to offer this service to you. And I'm really glad we are able to do that. Then comes the support part. Our AI-powered system ensures that you find the probability of admission to your chosen universities with minimum efforts, and that you don't waste time and paper and nerves and money on applying to universities where your admission chances are really low. You get access to our panel of assisted experts who provide end-to-end support for all of your application activities. You don't miss out on important deadlines, information, or know-how relevant to your admission process. And this is relevant because at public universities in Germany, for example, that do not charge tuition fees, there is a very fixed deadline to apply. And if you miss that, and if your application is not fully complete with all the stamps on it, all the attestations, you'll have to wait another year to apply again. So with us, you can make sure that this doesn't happen and that your application reaches the universities timely, punctually, and in the right quality. This is the success point. We help you to succeed to get admission to one of your top choice universities, get assistance on visa support activities like visa submission documents, interview questions, and so on, so we can prepare you for that. We assist you also in getting all the information you need on accommodation facilities in your host country if you want that. And it doesn't stop there. We even help you to find quality projects and internship opportunities during your studies with top institutions and companies in Europe. If you like, of course, we are very happy if you'd like to become part of our network once you're admitted. Consult fellow students about your key to success and keep in touch with us and become part of our community. So I'll wrap up the process for you. Like after you download the assisted mobile app, you choose your country and you choose your courses. You can put many other filters like the language skills that you have, tuition fees that you're able to pay or not. And then we can predict your admission probability to a tuition fee-free study program on master's level mostly, and if you like, taught in English. Then you make the decision whether you would like to go ahead with us until the service is completely for free. Or you would like to drop out of the app and try your own application procedures, which is of course possible but not hassle-free. If you opt for the hassle-free way, you apply via WAF within the assisted mobile app, and we help you with the application and support you and accompany you until you got admission to one of the universities where you wanted to have admission to. Then we prepare, or we offer you our service to prepare your study visa, to accompany you in that way, and to help you find the right accommodation, which is already a big step for success to study abroad. And we connect you to our student network, if you like. Okay, that was the general part about how you can actually find or get admission to a tuition fee-free program in Europe, especially in Germany, but it works for Austria and Switzerland as well. And now we'll showcase Italy. Also there you can find programs with low or no tuition fees, but also with high tuition fees. Let me just have a sip of coffee or two, and then let's move to beautiful Italy. I'm a bit envious. Berlin is nice, but many of the Italian cities are absolutely beautiful and such cultural treasures. But I just congratulate everyone who makes it to Italy and studies there. So the capital and largest city, as we probably all know, Italy, Rome, and the official language is Italian. It lies in the south of Europe. You know, there's Boot here in the south of Europe, with a lot of coastal lines, so a lot of Mediterranean Sea possible for your free time. The population is approximately 60 million, and the language is Italian, but in the north, German is spoken. At the French border, French is spoken, and Latin is an ancient Italian language that is spoken in some rather rural parts of Italy. The currency of our esteemed neighboring country is euro. Actually, Germany doesn't have borders with Italy, but still. So why should you study in Italy? Italy is a great international study spot for English speakers. It has this rich history, but also a rich history of innovation and research. There are nearly 100 universities throughout Italy. A total of 30 universities were included in the QS World University Rankings, which is really, really good. Affordable tuition fees with scholarship options for both the government and the individual or private universities. And Italy is also economically spoken an interesting spot. It's ranked 8th in the world GDP ranking. So one way, if you want to have a wider choice of study programs, and also if you want to avoid high tuition fees, is to get into Italian pathway programs. You make the choice to really learn Italian, and then you can enter regular bachelor or master programs and study them in Italian. So these pathway programs that we also have in our portfolio are designed to prepare international students to access a degree course in Italy. It is for candidates who wish to improve their educational or linguistic competencies. The program itself enhances the language skills in Italian with its intensive modules, and one of the easiest and simplest languages to learn. This is what the team wrote here. Italian is not only relatively easy and simple to learn, but it's also beautiful. It's very beautiful, it's very welcoming, it's a very warm and music-like language. So it's a very, very good option to go for Italian to learn. And with less than 5,000 euros, you can complete the foundation program and your gateway to free education for the rest of your studies. Because once you crack this gateway program and get the Italian level, you're also going to study in Italian for free. Okay, here are some of the top-ranking universities in Italy, in cities that you should have heard of. So the University of Pisa, Politecnico di Milano, the University of Sapienza, that's in Rome, the University Cattolica, also in Rome, Free University of Bolzano, that's in the northern part, where you can also find people speaking German dialect. The University of Bologna, the Alma Mater Studiorum, known to be the very first university maybe in the world. It's over 1,000 years old. And it's a very excellent, traditional, manifold university in a fascinating city of Bologna. There's the Politecnico di Torino, the University of Siena, of Perugia, and of Salerno, and many, many more nice places. Also in Rome, you have a lot of universities that are very, very good. These are public universities. So if you select them and you speak Italian, you won't have high tuition fees. If you select them for English taught programs, you will have tuition fees, but not enormous tuition fees. So you see here, public universities have an average tuition fee for higher education in Italy between 850 and 4,000 euro a year, depending on the university and the program of study. Private universities in Italy are much more expensive, and the majority of them have the same tuition fees for both EU and non-EU students. If you look out for excellent elite private universities, especially in commerce, in law, in economics, you might look for the Università Commerciale Luigi Bocconi, the famous Libera Università Maria Santa Assunta, or the Università Cattolica del Sacro Cuore. All of them very, very nice universities, the last two located in Rome, the first one located in Milan, where you can be sure that you'll get an international elite education in economics and business. And by the way, they offer a lot of dual degree programs, so you might be able to start to study in Bocconi, for example, in Milano, and they have series talking about Italian. I begin to speak with my fingers. It comes automatically, because this is what the Italians like to do. So Bocconi has a lot of double degree programs where you can actually study 1 year, for example, at Bocconi, and the second year somewhere else in Norway, in Germany, in Poland, in Spain. They have a various number of double degree programs, very, very high quality. A good study goal to have. Anyway, student accommodation and living costs in Italy. Most of the universities in Italy don't have their own accommodation, but the international office usually provides assistance in finding accommodation. And last but not least, of course, you also have us to help you finding accommodation. General living costs in cities like Milan and Rome are considerably higher than those in the rural areas. So if money is a question, you should maybe also look for smaller cities like Siena, like Perugia, Genova, and so on. All beautiful cities. It's hard to go to any Italian city that is not beautiful, but a lot cheaper to live. So student housing in Italy is more expensive than bigger cities and can range from 700 to 800 a month, depending on size and location. This is the upper end, by the way. So if you have a good 1,000 euros a month and you go to not exactly Rome or Milano, you are well off. You can well finance your studies, even with a bit less, I'd say. And the good news is that Italy has a rich scholarship landscape, which sometimes is a bit, I must say, difficult to identify on our app, the assisted mobile app. So if you're looking for scholarships, it might be the best to really get in touch if you search later for scholarships with one of the experts on the back end. Because sometimes it's difficult to find out how these scholarships connect, and if you apply to this university, how you can apply to another scholarship for the living expenses. So I'm just going to mention a few. I'm not going to read out the whole list. So there is the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation that offers scholarships to all international students, DSU, Diritto allo Studio Universitario. And then there come different regional scholarship schemes. For example, Lazio is a district, as well as Piedmont, which is also a region in Italy, And then you find that some of the universities like Bologna, Pavia, but also the expensive one of Bocconi, have their own university international scholarship schemes. So depending on to which university you might qualify for admission, you might also be able to apply for a scholarship. I'll say more about scholarships in the last part of the presentation, but please be aware already, I'm going to mention this again. If you apply to an Italian university for admission, you don't automatically apply for a scholarship for living expenses. It's always two application procedures, right? Okay. What do we have here? Popular study options in Italy. Actually, you can study everything, all the common study programs in Italy, you'll find them. But very famous, maybe because also due to its history or landscape, you have architecture and construction management, arts and design, business and management at the private universities, as well as commerce and accountancy, engineering and technology, of course, fashion design, hospitality and tourism, IT and computing, as well as sciences. But if you want to go for other fields of study, that's also no problem to find them in Italy. That's just what they are, let's say, what their universities are famous for to be strong at. Right? Okay. So then, finding a job. Most of the universities provide career service opportunities to find a placement or a job. And Italy is a hub of multinational companies and industries. If you can imagine to stay back in Italy, that's well possible. If you find a qualified job, we didn't note down the stay back period, but tech team, I think it's something like 2 years after completing a master's degree. And here you'll find a very, very colorful list of all of the companies who have headquarters or hubs or at least branches in Italy. There's a big food industry, there are big other fashion industries in Italy, car industry. So it's actually a good place to find a job, but it also qualifies you, a degree program in Italy also qualifies you after to go to Germany or to France or to Denmark or Scandinavia to find work there. So you can use Italy as a hub for your career, but you can also use Italy as a place of destination for your career. Okay, time for my next sip of coffee, and then we get started and I will explain to you the features of the assisted mobile app and how to manage the study program of your choice in Europe. So the assisted mobile app is hopefully on your mobiles. It's available for Android and for iOS. There is no reason why not to download it because the download is for free. And we think that with these excellent features, this will be the world's #1 mobile app for international higher education in Europe, because that's what it's focused on. So again, if you listened to me before, you'll find out that we like triangles because we connect students, experts, and universities, right? Students who are looking to study overseas, like you, and educational experts that look for an audience that can be consulted and where we can actually do fruitful work in order to bring students and universities together. And the third corner of the triangle are, of course, the universities, because educators can actively register on the assisted mobile app. They don't need to register. We browse and display also universities that didn't actively register, actually. So we connect these three parties. And once you download the app, you'll find out that it's quite easy to use. You type in your attractive but truthful profile with all your information, and that will supplement your search and enable us to find the best matching study program for you. Based on our artificial intelligence algorithms, but also based on the knowledge of our experts. You can search through our wide range of university options using multiple filters to find your best choice. Join virtual events, read up on the news articles, search for good housing options, and also, of course, book a physical appointment for counseling, because you might think that all of these online services are simply too far from me and I want to talk to a real person, a person in real life, we'll connect you to one of our experts that is near you. We have experts all over the world, so that shouldn't be a problem. And of course, you can also share the app and share the good news with your peers and friends who maybe want to go to study abroad with you. So our search engine is a very good one. I'm not going to read out all of these points, but you find out that it's very difficult if you want to compare, for example, universities in Austria, Germany, and Italy about their features and what is best for you, to find a search engine in the internet, in the open internet, that does this. Because normally you find national search engines and you find these ranking companies who give you the rankings, but who cannot really relate your requirements or your qualifications to the requirements of the universities. So this is what our search engine does, and that makes it really being the only search engine that does this. You can then explore our events, go to the housing section if you're already admitted, find projects and internships that's after your admission, chat, be in the expert forums, ask more questions about everything that interests you, and as I said, book an agent near you if you'd like to get personal assistance and physically and face-to-face. But we believe that with a drastic increase in online services, it's now essential to have virtual options for communication in higher education. And with the assisted expert feature, you get the opportunity to connect with an international education expert, or with a team even, with years of experience and knowledge in the higher education, in the European higher education sector, who can guide you in each and every aspect of your European university admission process. The student community that will be connected through various partnered websites and platforms guarantees a very impressive number of users of the app. And the free availability of the app, coupled with the diverse set of features showcased here, makes the app an assured option for every international education pursuing student with a really, really strong network. Now let's move on again, or let's move back again to the question of scholarships. Scholarships in the form of full or partial tuition fee waivers are the most common international scholarships offered by universities and are usually in the academic category. Tuition fee scholarships are the next best thing to fully funded scholarships, in a sense that a good portion of your cost of study is already covered. With the assisted mobile app, you can browse through the wide range of scholarship options available for different countries and locate the option that best suits your profile. Additionally, you can choose to talk to our assisted experts who are fully equipped to guide you through the procedures. The point is, as I said, it might sometimes be wise to, if you identify a study option and want to know more about scholarship options, to directly get in touch with a backend panel expert, because the KI algorithms, in German it's KI, the AI algorithms don't necessarily show all the detailed scholarship options to you. So there are options for most of the constellations, but they are not always connected via AI, so please feel free to contact us there if you are advanced in your search and you need help for scholarship questions. And concerning accommodation, that's of course once you got admission to a university, we eliminate the need for you to browse for hours on accommodation websites, and instead we bring unlimited housing options at your fingertips. Get details of the apartments with price, dimension, contact information, and pictures. Accommodation providers post accommodation offers. Our experts can help you to find out whether the location is really good for you, whether this is a good place to live near the university, and so on. Because sometimes these things are not so clear, especially if the whole contact is being online. Then about visa support, whether for higher education or internships, the assisted mobile app offers services to all your visa-related requirements from A to Z. You can get all the information from visa procedures to documents, interviews, and more. Contact our experts virtually and get step-by-step assistance for questions like which type of visa, how to apply, where to apply, what exactly are the documents needed, what kind of insurances do I need if I need a visa for country X, Y, Z, and how can I crack the visa interview? What are they possibly going to ask me? So one important note, we can do a lot of things, also magic, but we can't provide you with an invitation and a justification to apply for a visa if you don't have one by your own. So you need an admission of a university, you need a work contract from an internship in order to be able to apply for a visa, and then we can guide you. We cannot get you invitations. So we can help you to get invitations, of course, by guiding you through the application procedure. Now I'm closing the circle. The first part was dedicated to a feature that is contained in the assisted mobile app if you look for tuition fee-free studies, which is YUF, your UniFinder, and it offers an artificial intelligence-powered system that ensures that you do not wonder about the possibilities of admission, but get a definite picture as to which specific universities you are eligible and how you can proceed with the admission process. Predict. We analyze data of next to 500 plus higher education institutions to predict to which universities you are likely to be admitted with your personal qualification record. We support you throughout the application process and make sure that your application reaches the university of your choice in the right quality and in the right time. Then succeed and with YUF enroll at one of Europe's excellent academic environments and benefit from high quality higher education, living conditions, and very positive prospects on your future career and life. And that's it from my part, ladies and gentlemen. Now I'm just going to tell you where to find us. I mean, you found us already. So again, if you have questions, you can find our contact details on the website. And share, you can download the app, you can contact our assisted back-end experts via the app. You can also write us an email. I think my tech team will write the email address into the chat, but you'll also find it on the website if for some, for example, technical reasons you can't download the app. Otherwise, I warmly recommend you to download the app. So now, ladies and gentlemen, we will switch to the Q&A mode, so you can ask and type your questions. Just one disclaimer. I am very well aware of a lot of European options, of a lot of German, Italian, and so on options, but some questions have a degree of detailed or demand a degree of detailed knowledge that I might not, without further research, be able to answer this spontaneously, right? So you can type even your very detailed questions if you don't mind, but I might just say, okay, we'll have to have a further look at it. Please contact us again via email or via the app. But other than that, you can ask me everything and anything that you always wanted to know about studying in Europe, and I'll do my best to answer. Thanks for listening already, and we have plenty of time. I guess we'll be able to answer all of your questions. Okay. Oh, sorry, I think I made something stupid. Once I deleted the chat, but okay. I can't see the first question in the Q&A mode, but I'm asked in the chat, can I study bachelor's in Italy with a scholarship? Well, yes and no. Sorry, a lot of my answers will be yes and no. It is always more difficult, a lot more difficult, to get full scholarships for BA programs, simply because once most of the scholarship funders are institutions that promote talent, that want to connect certain countries with each other and so on. So if you want to promote talent, you should know whether you have a talent or not in front of you. And for that, most of the institutions require a BA degree in order to see, the student is gifted, the student is very good, the student can perform in his or her field of study. That's why there are very, very few bachelor program offers. But it's still possible. I would say only if you study in Italian. So the point is you'd have to go through a bridge program, an Italian bridge preparatory program, which is quite expensive. And for this, I don't think that there are any scholarships available. But we can still check. You can still register for the app and browse through the options. And we can, of course, assist you and check whether there are scholarship options available. At a few universities, there might be. But in general, it is really a lot easier to find scholarship options on the master's level, for the reason that I pointed out. Okay, I can see a next question already in the field of medical sciences. Amro asks. Okay. Sorry, it's a bit confusing. What is the eligibility for free education? Okay, sorry, I'll take that one first. Gary, thank you very much. If you have, on the bachelor's level, it's mostly to know the local language, because there are normally very few offers in English, if English is not the local language, in English. So there are few bachelor programs in Italy taught in English, there are few bachelor programs taught in Germany in English. So in order to study on bachelor's level for free of tuition fees, you have to know Italian for Italy, you'd have to know German for Germany. On the master's level, believe it or not, there are many options that are free of tuition fees, simply like that. So if you qualify, if you have the right bachelor, if you have, for example, if you completed your bachelor in English, you very often even don't need a certificate on an IELTS test or a TOEFL, you can get access to this free education. It's not very known worldwide. And actually with the YUF search tool, it's developed exactly to find that out. Yeah, if you type in your qualifications and you filter, you'll find your options in the whole of Europe for free education. Okay, Amno, to get full funded scholarship master program in Italy, is it possible? Sorry, I think added an information. Inside it's in the field of he asks for the field of medical studies, right? The Italian government scholarships that were first on the list of the presentation do not distinguish between fields of studies. So basically all fields of studies are open, but for medical education, it's the problem that it starts from the bachelor's level, right? So I'd say there are no real master programs in that sense. If you have a medical master program in Italy, it would be a specialization and require you to have a full qualification as a medical student graduate from your home country or another country. So if it's medicine, strictly speaking, I'd say it's difficult. If it's related disciplines, like for example pharmacology, it's possible. You would need an according degree already, a bachelor's degree, and you'd need to identify a program, get admission to the program, and then compare or apply to 1, 2, 3 scholarship scheme options. The general one from the Ministry of Higher Education in Italy, and the one in the region where you are applying to, and the one at the university where you are applying to. So there are these 3 options basically. In order to find that out, this mesh, like, okay, a master program is taught in English and you qualify for it, and it's in a region, and you're interested in it, and it's in a region and then at a university where there are scholarships. It's a kind of 5 components that we'd have to find a match to. And if we're lucky, there are 1 or 2 universities that could have a match. So it's absolutely worthwhile to download our app and go ahead to see whether we can find an option that fulfills all of your requirements. And as I said, please do consider very well that admission to a master's program is one thing, and scholarship admission is, or the grant of a scholarship is a second application. So you might end up having a master's spot in the program but no scholarship. It's very rare that you end up having a scholarship but no master's spot to study. I think it works normally the other way around. Okay, we can take the next question, and I think it's Gary's question again. Okay. Does the German-Italian University give language courses parallel to the academic programs? Yes, they do. It depends a bit. Sorry, I always say it depends. So, on the bachelor's level, these offers are really mostly for exchange students, because in general, as I said, on the bachelor's level, courses are taught in the local language, so in German, it's in Italian. And they demand for admission a very high level of language command. So you might find courses that even enhance your language skills, but I'd say you wouldn't possibly need it. If you study a master program in English in Italy, for example, and you would like to learn parallelly some Italian, that is well possible. That is very well possible. That is financed by the university, so they usually offer courses in the local language to learn from scratch without paying additional fees for that. It's also very recommendable because you might want to work in Italy. Also, as an international student already, you might want to work in Italy after your studies. Same is true for Germany. And if you really can imagine to work in one of these countries, it's very recommendable to learn the local language. The only problem is that it might be challenging because the language courses might not be part of your master's curriculum, for example. So you might have to take them additionally to your academic workload, which is as a hobby, it is instead of going to go swimming or to go playing football or something, you do the language course as your hobby, which is not the same. So it can be quite demanding. I know this from many master students who are very, very willing to learn the local language, but to find the time, especially if you have to work to finance your study, can be a challenge. Hey Alex, is the PT, the IELTS, a prerequisite to study masters in Europe for someone coming from Ghana, where the official language of instruction is English in all schools? Okay, I'm going to get on your nerve and say yes and no, but mostly no. Because it's the universities that set independently the admission requirements, there's no general answer. But for example, in Germany, to get admission for an English taught master program, and you come from an English-speaking country, you have an English taught degree certificate, you wouldn't need an IELTS test. I'd say at the Italian public universities it's probably the same. I'd say that at an elite university institutions like Bocconi or Luis, for students of economics, for example, they might require an IELTS test. But I'd say that, let's say, I don't know which field of study you are looking for, but that 80% of the options would not require an IELTS. And you can, of course, I mean, this is a nice thing about our filter tool. If you don't want to do an IELTS, then you can just, put this filter, and then you'll only see the options that do not require. And you can do the filter search twice, right? You can filter once with IELTS and once without IELTS, so you can see the benefits, so the wider scope that opens up to you if you're willing to do an IELTS test or not. Smita, is there any entrance test for enrollment? That's a good question. Yes and no, again. Entrance tests are very common for bachelor students in medicine. It's difficult to find a program for medicine without entrance test. It is also common for certain very, very high-profile, competitive master's programs. Some very elitist schools, for example in France, they have the system of ENS, of École Normale Supérieure. There you have very, very heavy competitions and entrance exam to enter the institutions. So if you're aiming for the top-notch universities ever, where only, I don't know, very few, maybe 0.01% of the students go, or if you aim at studying medicine from zero, then you'll have entrance test. For the rest of the study programs, depending a bit on fields, you possibly do not have entrance tests. What you will sometimes have is a conditional admission to master's programs. Imagine, for example, you hold a bachelor in biology and you took some chemistry courses during your bachelor, and you apply in Berlin to one of the Berlin universities to biochemistry. They are going to say, look, this person studied biology, and she fulfills, let's say, 85-90% of our requirements of the Masters of Science in Biochemistry, which she applied for. That's enough for us, but we'll give her a preliminary admission. And we'll say, okay, you got 1 year in order to complete, I don't know, Inorganic Chemistry 2 and Biochemistry 1 or whatever, courses from the bachelor level. So this will be a conditional admission or a preliminary admission. You will have some conditions to fulfill. And after 1 year, they look, okay, did she bring the chemistry courses from the bachelor level that we asked her to bring? And if you do this, then that's no problem. You're fully admitted to the program. So many universities apply these mechanisms, to get you into the study program first, but to, have some things that you don't bring from your home country, or that you have to repeat again, or whatever. Okay, that was quite a differentiated answer. I'm sorry for that. But I think it covers the scope of possibilities. I think tech team. We skipped one question from Sophia Mohammed. Is it the same, Carolina? Okay, we might go back, tech team, if you can check that Studies of Education compulsory for bachelor in Germany, because this is an important question. So we'll answer Carolina's question first, and then maybe go back to Sophia's question, right? So student completed 12 and joined bachelor's. After completion of the first year bachelor's, can student join bachelor's in German public universities? Okay, so students completed the 12 years of high school, plus the high school examination, plus first year of study in the home country at a recognized academic higher education institution, completion of that year, in a lot of cases qualifies the student to join the bachelor's at German public universities. So the answer is yes. In many, many cases it does, but some conditions have to be fulfilled, namely, except for students from Ukraine, where this, due to the war situation, this requirement has been waived for the current year. You have to have not only a completed 12th year of high school, but a high school degree, and 1 year of bachelor's in a similar field that you want to study in Germany. Plus, this bachelor program has to be done at an official and recognized university higher education institutions in the home country. Then there is an eligibility to apply. So very good point, Carolina. It's exactly as you say, with some side notes. GMAT GRE required for studying masters in international business in public universities in Germany. Okay, wait a second. Actually, I'd say no. Not in general, Olivia. There might be, again, some programs at private universities, rather, that also charge tuition fees, because then in the field of international business, that might occur in Germany, right? You find private universities that offer that study options. But in general, I'd say no, but I'm not very sure. So it's maybe better to address, because it might vary, to really look for the study options that are interesting to you, to narrow the scope a little bit, to take our search engine to browse the options of international business taught in English in Germany. You'll find options at the University of Mannheim, at the Hochschule für Wirtschaft und Recht here in Berlin, and many other options. Then you browse whether you can pay tuition fees or not, and then you go through the admission requirements together with our experts, and then we'll find out for you the detailed answers. Okay, and I think that's mostly it, ladies and gentlemen, and we are also almost, we have one video for you, so we are exactly within the time frame. If you have more questions that I was not able to answer, or if I was not able to answer your question in complete detail, please do not hesitate to contact us after to download the app, to get in touch with our backend team. We love our business. We love to consult you. And we seriously hope that you decided to come to Europe to study, that you find the means and the way to come here. That will be a great success. Thank you very much for today. A nice day for you. And a warm goodbye with our last video. Thank you very much.